Okay, a very good morning to one and all. So in today's session, we are going to discussing about a topic called URLs. They are nothing but the uniform resource locators. Okay, so the uniform resource locators, right? So here, so before we are entering into the URLs, so first we need to know what is a URL. Okay, what is the acronym of the URL? So you know that the acronym of or the acronym for the URL is nothing but that is the uniform resource locator. And you know that it is nothing but it is just a reference, it is an address. Okay, it is just an address to a resource on the internet. Okay, so that is nothing but the acronym for the URL, that is the uniform resource locator. So URL is an acronym for uniform resource locator and is a reference, that is an address to a resource on the internet. Okay, and one more name, what is the another name? One more thing is, so what is the another name of URL? So obviously you know that the another name of URL is nothing but it is the web address, because it is a reference to a web resource that specifies its location on a computer network and a mechanism for retrieving it. So you know that the network, so computer network in the sense, so here within this the computer network in the sense, so you know that the internet is nothing but it is a network of networks, right? Network of networks. So that is why, so the uniform locator URL is nothing but it is termed a web address and it is a reference to a web resource that specifies its location on a computer network and a mechanism for retrieving it. Okay, and then we need to know how the URL is going to be placed and what is what is the example of this URL and what are the different parts of your URL that contains. Okay, so coming to the topic. So here, so first we need to know what is a URL. So you know that the acronym for the URL is nothing but it is a uniform resource locator. Okay, so what is the URL in the sense? In the sense, so URL, a uniform resource locator, it is termed a web address. It is a reference to a web resource that specifies its location on a computer network and a mechanism for retrieving it. Okay, a URL is a specific type of uniform resource identifier, although many people use the two terms interchangeably. Uniform resource locator and uniform resource identifier. It means it is going to identify something, right? Okay, okay, so the URL is going to identify something. Okay, it is a reference to a web resource that specifies its location on a computer network and a mechanism for retrieving it. Okay, so sometimes it is called as the web address. You please note that one. So, another name of URL is nothing but it is a web address. Okay, so generally you know that an internet or the World Wide Web. Okay, so the internet or World Wide Web, it is a vast collection of electronic files. They are stored in the millions of independent computers around the world. Okay, around the world. So these files links together by the hypertext. Okay, okay, you know that. So you know that a tag that is nothing but anchor tag. Okay, anchor a. So like that we have to be like that. What we have to do here is, so we have to do one thing. So anchor. So within the anchor tag href hyperreference. So where we have to specify something with respect to the your web technology point of view. Okay, okay, right? So generally a www, it is a vast collection of electronic files that is stored in the millions of independent computers around the world. Okay, so these files links together by the hypertext only. Okay, hypertext only. Am I right? Okay. So next, so what is the URL in the sense? So you may call or you may address that URL with the help of these two definitions. Also, that is nothing but, so the addresses that are used to locate these files are called the web addresses or the uniform resource locators. Okay, or else, so the each web page has a designated unique address, right? So you know that the World Wide Web is it is a collection of millions of web pages, right? It is a collection of vast collection of web pages. So the each and every web page has a designated unique address, right? Unique address, and they are called the URL or the uniform resource locator. And you know that, so in order to design that web pages, okay, so in order to what I mean to say here is, so in order to design those web pages, we can take the HTML, right? HTML programming, right? So that is coming from your HTML. So these all are the applications of your HTML, right? That is standard generalized markup language. So HTML, XML, so HTML5, CSS. So all these are the applications of those, right? Okay. So here, so what we can do here is, so each web page has a designated unique address called the URL or the uniform resource locator here. So coming to the next slide. So generally, now we need to discuss about how the URL is made up of. Okay, how the URL is made up of. So in order to know that one, so first you know that, so URL that stands for a uniform resource locator, and it is used to specify the addresses on the World Wide Web. That is why we can call those URLs are nothing but the web addresses. Okay, so somebody will ask you that, so why should we call those URLs or the web addresses? Because so you know that, so the generally URL stands for the uniform resource locator, that is the acronym for that one, and that is used to specify the addresses on your World Wide Web. That is why we can call those URLs are nothing but they are the web addresses. Okay, so a URL is the fundamental network identification for any resource that is connected to the web. Okay, in generally, if we think about that URL, so a URL is the fundamental network identification for any resource connected to the web. Okay, you know that, so by day, so the number of devices those are connected to the internet are increasing, right? Okay, so it means, so each and every time, so the different devices are going to be connected with the web. Okay, now your the major functionality of your URL is nothing but, so the URL is the fundamental network identification for any resource that is connected to the web. For example, the hypertext pages, images, and the sound files, and so on. Okay, for example, if we take the URL that is format, that is http:// okay, chalapathiengg.ac.in / okay /csc department / third year syllabus.pdf. So that is, for example, if we take, that is one of the URL, or else we can take some more examples like http:// www.amazon.com, okay, www.indiana.edu.in, so like that. Okay, so it means, so here the URL is nothing but it is made up of some several parts. It is made up of some several parts. Okay, so let me explain what are the different those URL parts. Okay, there are mainly there are 4 different parts should be there. They are nothing but first one is nothing but the protocol, second one is nothing but the domain name, third one is nothing but the subdomain, and the fourth one is nothing but the file name. Okay, and here, okay, and here, so what I want to say here is, so the URL is made up of the several parts. Okay, so the first part is the protocol, second part is the domain name, third one is the subdomain, and the fourth one is the file name. Okay, let me explain what the protocol will provides you. Okay, so the protocol specifies how the information from the link is transferred. Okay, so generally the protocol, so here we can take, so the web protocols, they are nothing but generally we can take the HTTP protocol, right? That is nothing but the hypertext transfer protocol. Or else some web browsers will take the FTPs, some browsers will take Telnet, like that. Okay, some will take the news groups and some will take the Gophers and all. Okay, so the protocol, it is followed by some column, right? So a protocol that specifies how the information from the link, information from the link is transferred. Okay, the protocol that is used for web resources is the hypertext transfer protocol. Okay, the other protocols compatible with the most web browsers include the HTTPs, FTPs, Telnets, news groups, and Gopher. Okay, so the protocol is followed by a colon, 2 slashes, and then the domain name. Okay, then after we will have a domain name. It means, so where the resource is going to be located. Okay, in which domain that is going to be located. Okay, the protocol is followed by a colon, two slashes, and then the domain name. Okay, the domain name is the computer on which the resource is located, right? So the domain name will gives you the resource location. That is nothing but in which or on which the resource is going to be located. Okay, so the protocol is followed by a colon, two slashes, and then the domain name. And the domain name is the computer on which the resource is located. Okay, it links to the particular files or the subdirectories. They are nothing but the subdomains, right? So it links to these particular files or the subdirectories may be further specified after the domain name. And one more thing is the directory names that are separated by the single forward slashes. Okay, so then protocol, then domain name, then subdomain, then what we have? We have some file names. Okay, then we have some file names. Okay, so let me explain with a simple example. Okay, so coming to this one, so first and foremost one is the protocol. So you know that the protocol, let us assume that the HTTP or the HTTPS www.chalapthiengg.ac.in/syllabus/third-year-csc.pdf. Okay, third-year-csc.pdf. Okay, so http://www.chalapthiengg.ac.in/syllabus.third-year-csc.pdf. So here the HTTP, this is the protocol part. This part is called the protocol part. Okay, here the HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So the most web page URLs, they are begin with the HTTPs. Someone will take the FTPs, that is the file transfer protocol. Someone will take the telnet. Okay, someone will take the news groups, and someone will take Gopher. Someone will take SMTP. So likewise, so the different people will use the different kinds of the protocols and all. So the most used web protocols are nothing but the HTTP protocols. Okay, so here, so let us assume that the http://www.chalapthiengg.ac.in/syllabus/third-year-csc.pdf. Okay, here HTTP stands for the Hypertext Transfer Protocol. This is the capital HTTP. Okay, so the most web page URLs they are begin with the http:// and a protocol that is used to transfer pages on the web. A protocol is nothing but it is that is used to transfer the pages on the web, or else we can take this protocol specifies, or else we can take these protocols that specifies how the information is how the information from the link is going to be transferred. Okay, and protocol used for the web resources is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Okay, and this protocol is that is followed by colon double slash, right? That is followed by colon double slash. That is http:// and then the domain name. This is the domain name here. This is our college domain name. Okay, so a protocol that is used to transfer the pages on the web, and the HTTP means the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, that is secured one. HTTPS. If somebody says that is the HTTPS, somebody will take the HTTP, means HTTP secure one, right? So the HTTP secure means, so the Hypertext Transfer Protocol secured. So it means that the web page has a special layer of encryption, that is the security, right? So you know that TLS, Transport Layer Security, and Simple Socket Layer, or sorry, Secure Socket Layer, SSL. Okay, so while we are going to discussing about the emails, okay, emails with authentication, that is nothing but TLS. Email without authentication, email with authentication. So within the authentication we are having the TLS, okay, transport layers security. Okay, next one is SSL, that is the secure socket layer. Here, so the HTTPS means, so it means that the web page has a special layer of encryption added to hide your personal information and the passwords. Okay, so coming to that one, so next one is nothing but the domain name, right? So let us take above URL, that is http://www.chalapthiengg.ac.in/syllabus/third-year-csc.pdf. So here Chalapati ngg, okay, .ac.in. Okay, so this is called the domain. Okay, .ac.in. Okay, this is called the domain. So we are having the different domains, right? Different domains. That is, so the domain in the sense, so you know very well about these domains. So the domain name system will maintain all these things and all, right? Okay. So we can send a request to the server, and server will internally they will search for the corresponding domain name system where the resource is going to be located. From that resource, it is going to extract that one with the help of the URLs. You know that one, right? Okay. So this is a unique reference that identifies a website, and we have the different domains names such as, so .com, that is for commercial, .government, for the government, .gov, for educational purpose, .edu, okay, .org, organizational purpose, .net, okay, and then .mil, that is the military. Okay, so likewise, so the different domains, so the different sectors will use the different kinds of domains, likewise, such as .com, .gov, .edu, .org, .net, .mil, like that only. Okay, like that only. So coming to this subdomain. Okay, so coming to the subdomain. So subdomain in the sense, so let us take above URL, that is https://www.chaptngg.ac.in. So this is the protocol, and this is the domain, then subdomain, then the files. Okay, so here, so the subdomain. So it means, so the protocol is followed by a colon with the 2 slashes. Okay, so after that what we have to do, and then we are having the domain name, right? So after that we have the domain. So here we are having the subdomain. So okay, so the subdomain in the sense, so we know that, so within the URL, so there is a the protocol is followed by a colon, then 2 slashes, and then we are having the domain name. So the domain name is the computer on which the resource is going to be located. Okay, and it links to the particular files or the subdirectories. So the subdirectories are, they are nothing but subdomains. Okay, maybe further specified after the domain name. It means so subdomain is specified after the domain name. Okay, it means, so within the domain name, okay, the domain name is the computer on which the resource is located. So the links to the particular files or the subdirectories may be further specified. It means they are the subdomains. Okay, so after that, so for example, so here dot in, so dot in the sense, so that is, so in our example, so here we are having the dot in, that is nothing but subdomain. So the syllabus is a subdomain here of the subdivision of the domain name. Sorry, so generally this is the subdomain, that is dot in. So for examples of such subdomain names or the country codes abbreviations are dot in, dot jp, Japan, dot France, dot Korea, dot Philippines, like that it is. For us, that is dot in, that is the India. This is the subdomain. Okay, dot in is the subdomain. Okay, after that we are having the sum files, that is the syllabus / third year CSC.pdf and all. Okay, so there is a protocol, there is a domain part. Okay, there is a domain part and there is a subdomain part. So after that we are having the directories or the files. So within the syllabus / third year CSC.pdf we are having the next one, that is nothing but the folder here. Okay, so folder in the sense, so the fourth part is the folder part. So it is the directory name. Okay, there will be times that you will see a longer folder which is a subdirectory of a directory, that is the folder under another folder. So it means, so the HTTP, so this is the protocol. Okay, this is the domain, and this dot in is the subdomain. Sorry. So this dot in is the subdomain. Then we are having the syllabus / third year CSC.pdf. So this entire thing is called the folder. Okay, this entire thing is called the file name or the folder name. Okay, so if we observe this one carefully, so within this URL, so you know that a URL is nothing but it is a uniform resource locator, and it is used to specify the addresses on the World Wide Web. Okay. Here, so it is going to specify the web addresses. It means it is going to locate. Okay, it is going to, so a URL is nothing but it is the fundamental network identification for the any resource that is connected to the web. So here we are having the 4 different parts. They are nothing but the first one is nothing but that is the protocol. Second one is the domain. Third one is the subdomain, and the fourth one is the file or directory or the folders. Okay, in our example HTTP : so this is the protocol, and this is the domain, and dot in, that is the subdomain, and the syllabus slash third year CSE.pdf, this is the folder here. Okay, so this is about the URL. Okay, thank you one and all.